Don Quixote. At Opera Today, we like to bring opera to new audiences. We like to create new titles, but always historically inspired. That is why one of our little big dreams was Don Quixote. Obviously because it's one of the most famous books of all times, but also because of its topical message, which still speaks to nowadays audiences somehow. We have the story of a man who tries to avoid the baseness of reality by thinking to be a man from the past, a knight from the medieval era. So somehow he finds a shelter into stories, which I think it's also what we need nowadays.
Don Quixote is moeilijk uit te leggen. Hij is de hele opera aan het woord en we maken kennis met iemand die eigenlijk aan het begin van de opera het zicht op de werkelijkheid volledig verloren is. En verdwaalt in zijn eigen fantasie of liefhebberij voor verzonnen verhalen. En dat verhaal gaat met hem op de loop. Hij wordt de hoofdpersoon in zijn eigen fantasie. Hij kiest ervoor om in de fantasie verder te leven.
With Don Quixote, Cervantes wants to mirror his society, but he also wants to mirror himself, or at least he does it. And in fact, he also puts himself into the story as the first character that we actually meet. In fact, he says, or he pretends, that he hasn't written the story, but there was this invented Muslim historian called Cid Hamete Benengeli that actually wrote a story about an existing man, he said, called Alonso Quijano, a rich landlord, who invents for himself an alternative reality and thinks himself being a knight from the past, exactly Don Quixote de la Mancha. This is a structure as a Russian doll, or we would say of a Chinese nest of boxes with several levels of intertextuality, of meta-narrative that we find for the first time, where there is a character who is also aware of the fact that there is an author or multiple authors that are writing about him. This is an extremely modern way of conceiving a story. So This is extremely also topical for nowadays, that we live in a multi-dimensional society. That is why we have thought to create the same structure in our opera, both in the narrative and also in the staging. That is why we use, for instance, elevators, which can take us in the story from one level to another, from one dream to another, from one adventure to another, from one reality to another.
And I had two masters in this period. One is Don Quixote and the other is Cervantes. Don Quixote, because he teach me to live really free, all the suggestions coming from my memories, from my past, and also from the past of the humanity I learned in the school, and in which I was immersed, I was deepened during my life. We all are part of a cultural process. And what Don Quixote really teach strongly to us is to break all the walls and to put in risk our identity. Because, you know, when you put down the walls, you are overwhelmed by a lot of things. And then the music came in a different form, and I can say more sincere, because I was not anymore scared to quote entirely pieces of the past. In this opera, you can enjoy, you can amuse yourself to find a lot, really a lot of quotes from everywhere, every music. Not only from the Middle Age.
And for the first time in an opera, we combine a contemporary ensemble like the New European Ensemble with an ensemble specialized in medieval music like the Italian La Fonte Musica.
It is sad to have the power to safeguard the precious humanity's common sense. Don't you think the world has been a little off these days?
Yes, it's all nuts to me.
It's because they've lost the treason. But the knight recounted in this book finds it again.
And who is he?
I, the famous knight errant, who bears the name Don Quixote de la Mancha.
And in our case was fantastic because we read the book together, and we found all the suggestions together. So every smallest idea was the fruit of a very, very long brainstorming. Every day we had a call for 3-4 hours, every day for 8 months, every day, and then again. Yeah, and it was really fantastic. We deepened in a world, in a different world.
Working on Don Quixote is a little bit like traveling in a time machine. In the real book, you have a man of his time traveling back in time at least 400 years or more, And in our show you have a man of his time traveling back in time at least 1000 years.